The horrifying house of Amityville, a curse of blood and darkness. On the night of November 13, 1974, darkness settled over the quiet neighborhood at 112 Ocean Avenue. Amityville, New York. The peaceful streets lay still under the moonlight, oblivious to the unimaginable horror that was about to unfold within one of its homes. Within a few hours, the house, an elegant two-story Dutch colonial, would become a symbol of terror and death. At exactly 3:15 a.m., Ronald DeFeo Jr., a 23-year-old young man, rose from his bed with an eerie, emotionless expression. His fingers gripped a Marlin .35 caliber rifle, his gaze empty, as if guided by an invisible force. In the silent corridors, he moved toward the master bedroom where his parents, Ronald DeFeo Sr. and Louise DeFeo, were sleeping soundly. Without hesitation, he raised the rifle, his finger tightening around the trigger. The first shot shattered the stillness of the night, tearing through his father's chest. The second followed immediately, splattering blood across the crisp white sheets. His mother, startled awake, barely had time to scream before a bullet ripped through her skull, her life ending in an instant. Yet, Ronald did not stop. He continued his slow, deliberate walk down the hallway. In the next bedroom, his two younger brothers, John, 12, and Mark, 9, slept peacefully, unaware of the nightmare unfolding around them. Under the dim glow of their nightlight, their faces appeared serene. Ronald took aim. The gunfire rang out twice, each shot a precise, merciless execution. His feet felt heavier as he moved toward the final room. Inside, his two younger sisters, Dawn, 18, and Allison, 13, lay fast asleep. Allison stirred, her eyes fluttering open just as Ronald appeared in the doorway. Her innocent gaze locked onto her brother. But before she could react, a bullet pierced her forehead, ending her life instantly. Dawn, the eldest daughter, seemed to have a moment of realization. But she, too, could not escape her fate. The final shot echoed through the house, marking the end of the massacre. 6 lives, taken within 15 minutes. But the most chilling fact was this: none of them had struggled or attempted to flee. Even though the gun had no suppressor, no one woke up in time to escape. The police later discovered that none of the victims had sedatives in their system. The question haunted investigators: why had they remained asleep as the gunshots thundered through the house? Had an unseen force held them in place, trapping them in their final nightmare? 1 year after the massacre, 112 Ocean Avenue stood silent, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at the town. It was a house no one dared to buy until the Lutz family arrived. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 young children, saw an opportunity. The house was shockingly affordable, listed at only $80, a steal for a home of that size. They believed they could create a fresh start, a new chapter in a house tainted by its history. They were wrong. From the very first day, something felt off. George Lutz, a practical and strong-willed man, soon found himself feeling strangely cold. Despite the heating system working perfectly, his energy drained rapidly, and he became increasingly withdrawn, as if something unseen was feeding off him. Kathy, ever the skeptic, brushed it off at first, but soon, she began to experience disturbing sensations. An invisible hand would graze her back while she cooked in the kitchen. Their youngest son, Daniel, was the first to see something unnatural. One night, he pointed toward the second-floor window, whispering in fear, "There's someone watching us," with red eyes. The family tried to dismiss his fears. But within days, the haunting escalated. A thick, green slime oozed from the walls and ceiling, emitting a foul, rotting stench. Doors slammed shut violently, even when no one was near them. Footsteps echoed from the upstairs hallway. But whenever they checked, the floors were empty. The peak of their horror came on the 21st night. George woke up, glancing at the clock, 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the massacre. As he made his way downstairs, the air grew dense, heavy. Then, in the center of the living room, it appeared, a shadowy figure, its form wavering like smoke, yet its presence suffocating. It stared at him, its eyes glowing red, burning with an unnatural malice. George felt himself drawn toward it, his mind slipping into darkness. Upstairs, Kathy was yanked from her bed by an unseen force. bruises forming on her arms as she screamed for help. The children, now awake, sobbed in terror as their toys lifted off the ground, smashing against the walls as if thrown by invisible hands. The Lutz family had reached their limit. At dawn, they fled, leaving everything behind: furniture, clothes, even personal belongings. They had only lived in the house for 28 days. Yet what they experienced became one of the most infamous hauntings in American history. After the Lutz family abandoned 112 Ocean Avenue, word of the haunting spread. Paranormal researchers, thrill seekers, and skeptics all wanted to uncover the truth. Among them were Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned demonologists, who held a seance inside the house. Their conclusion was terrifying. This house is not just haunted, it is home to an incredibly dark, malevolent force. During one of their investigations, a photograph was taken inside the house. It showed a young boy peering from the stairwell, a boy who was never there. His eyes were completely white, his face eerily blank. Many dismissed the story as exaggeration, a hoax designed to sell books and movies. But those who set foot inside the house, even after it was renovated, all spoke of a lingering darkness. Some reported feeling watched, others claimed to hear faint whispers telling them to leave. To this day, the Amityville House remains one of the most famous haunted locations in the world. Was it merely a tragedy that left behind an imprint of fear? Or was something much older, much darker, lurking in its walls long before the DeFeo murders? No one can say for certain, because no matter how many owners have come and gone, one fact remains unchanged: 112 Ocean Avenue still watches, and it never forgets. This chilling story has captivated audiences for decades. The legend of Amityville is a tale of horror that may never be fully explained. But one question remains: would you dare spend a night in the house that never sleeps?